My name's Isai Morales, and I'm alive on South Beach.
Hi, I'm Dina Stewart.
And I'm Stuart Stewart.
And we're at the Cafe at Books and Books on Lincoln Road, and we're alive on South Beach. Congratulations, Stuart, on our 25th episode of Alive on South Beach for syndicatednews.net.
Well, thank you. That's a lot better than congratulating us on our 25th anniversary, which means I would have forgotten. So I'm very relieved to hear that to begin with. Anyway, getting back to the issue at hand, I'd like to just really thank our audience who has been following us through 25 episodes. I hope you're having as good a time at watching as we are at creating them. So thank you again to our sponsors and to our audience, and now let us entertain you. Well, we looked in, and it was open to the public, and it was all the wine you can drink. Let's get a drink. How did you get involved in the liquor business, I guess?
I was just too stupid to know that I couldn't make it in the business, so I got into it by accident, and 23 years later, I'm still here. We came across a product that seemed interesting, that we thought we could sell, and we went out and we sold it. And evolution took us to different places where we got involved in the chocolate wine business, which is Choco Noir, and we created Choco Noir about 18 months ago, and it has been a big hit all over the country. We're just introducing right now our Vanilla Noir, which is the answer to the chocolate. If you like chocolate, great. If a lot of people like vanilla.
So what's the best part of being you?
I guess I'm a person that looks at life from a positive point of view, and nothing is impossible. And that's the only good thing about being me, I guess.
Well, no, it doesn't. It helps to be in the liquor business.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, you have a couple of glasses of wine and everything goes better, you know.
You see that?
It's a popular thing.
Well, Henry, thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I'm standing here with Donna Ashby, who's one of our local pioneers that I've known forever. And tell me, how did you come to this event?
I came here with two girlfriends. We figured it'd be a great way to have a girls' night out.
It is, because you could drink.
Well, that sounds like us.
After several glasses of wine, we finally did make it over to Arte Americas. And we saw some really fabulous art.
Well, you know what was interesting about that? A couple of months ago, we had Art Basel here, and I thought I saw enough artwork to just cover me for the year. But this was a very low-key exhibit, and it was worthwhile going to. I came here to look at art, and suddenly I came across this exhibit, which is more than just art. Why don't you tell us about it?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We are the Office of Engaged Creativity. We are within FIU, within its College of Architecture and the Arts. Our main focus is to engage the community through the arts. And so Floor 500 is our flagship project. Florida turns 500 next year. And so we've invited botanists throughout the entire state to help us find 500 native wildflower species. Our director, Xavier Cortada, created these beautiful drawings behind us. And what he did is we separated them into 500 pieces, and we combined the pieces along with a packet of wildflower seeds. And so you as a visitor can come, take a piece of the artwork home with you, with the promise that you will then take that packet of seeds and plant it.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so, but here's the thing. The flowers that will grow are native to Florida. They're state Florida, state flowers. And the garden has to be dedicated to someone. And so it's a time capsule in a way that preserves our wildflower species, and also it's a dedication to someone.
So if I adopt the seeds, I could then make a dedication to someone.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it can be anyone. It can be someone, a friend, someone very dear to you, someone you love, you know, completely open.
I've got somebody in mind.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm a physician by training, and I actually still do medical work up at Jackson North. I started a clinic for hepatitis C. which there are 4 million people with hepatitis C in the United States. So I've been doing that, and then the other part of my time, I am involved in representing various artists, helping with art shows, helping the people at the Frost Museum do a show there of Chinese contemporary art, and traveling between here and New York for the art business.
And what do you do with your spare time?
Well, my spare time I do political stuff.
What do you think of this art exhibit?
I think it's fantastic. I love it.
Culturally, do you hear any good rumors?
Good rumors. Well, we have one of the Real Housewives of Miami coming to our booth.
When?
Probably in the next hour.
Ooh.
Stuart and I waited around for a little while, but the Real Housewives of Miami were a little bit later. So we had other things on our busy schedule and left. But the next night at the Moore Building, when we went to the Salvador Dali exhibition, who would we run into but the Real Housewives of Miami?
And there they were, talking to each other like they were in conversation, and being filmed by their crew, and everybody else at this party were extras in this film, and they didn't even know it.
That's right, as usual.
And that's part of the charm of Miami. Miami is really one big surrealistic film.
It's one big real backdrop for film.
Okay, I stand corrected, yeah. You know, so if you view life as a Fellini movie, this is the place where it takes place. Now we'd like you to meet two friends of ours who can guarantee that they can make you smile. This is Charlotte LeBeau, who you may have met on some of our other shows, and this is one of the best photographers on South Beach, Henry Perez. Now, you guys, I see you with everything that's going on down here. Are you having a good time?
We're having a fabulous time.
Beyond fabulous.
How did you get involved in covering all of these events, and who do you cover it for?
Well, I cover usually for Examiner.com, although I also write for other publications. When I came down here, I was hired by Miami Today, the business magazine, which was kind of a crash course in learning everything about Miami. Eventually, I learned about the art scene. I met Henry, and the rest is history.
Your pictures are seen all over the place. How did you get started doing that?
All right, it's a long story. I'm going to try to PS it. When I was very young, long time ago, I used to have a film camera and video camera, and I would shoot everything. And people would tell me, put the camera down, or why don't you become a photographer? And I said, no. Then, past years forward, I meet Harvey Burstein, and Harvey takes me or invites me to Ballet Gamanet at the Gusman, and then from there we go to the cast party at one of the producer's home or something. And Harvey says, hey, do you mind taking pictures? Because he wanted to talk to Rula. So I started taking pictures, and then he says, why don't you join our magazine and you can just do photos? And I said, okay, sure. And he created a monster, and here I am.
What about you, Charlotte?
Well, I'm primarily actually a health and medical writer. I've written 5 books on health, but I've always enjoyed photography. And when I came down to South Beach, I just absolutely fell in love. I fell in love with the light, the colors, the people. I just fell in love with this area, and I wanted to capture it, and I wanted to share it. And I started posting pictures. I joined a club called Shoot Miami, and I started exhibiting, and people liked them, which is always very encouraging. One thing led to another, and like Henry said, created a monster.
And here we are drinking somebody else's booze at another South Beach party.
It's just all good, and we love to see you guys around. You're everywhere too.
Yes, you are, and we
see you too.
We love seeing you guys, and what you do is amazing. And thank you so much.
And thank you for saying it just the way I told you to.
What's the $20? $20.
Hi, I'm Merrill Weiss, and I'm alive on South Beach.
I found this man intriguing based on what he does and what he puts out there.
And what did you find so intriguing about him?
He originated an entire genre of books and film, legal thrillers.
He's a former lawyer, and a very interesting guy to talk to. Okay, back in 1987, there was a book that came out called Presumed Innocent. It was written by Scott Turow, the gentleman sitting with me, and when the critics read it, they labeled it a legal thriller. How many books have you written?
I published 9 novels now and 2 books of nonfiction. My last book, Innocent, was filmed by TNT. I've always been a criminal lawyer, whether as a prosecutor or a defense lawyer, and that is inherently interesting. Crime is really, really interesting. I always say criminality is one of the great unrecognized expressions of human imagination. So, and you know, the conflict between evil and good, and you know, finding the truth and punishment and guilt, I mean, those are all gigantic issues. So, you know, that's one thing. I mean, I think writing about crime is a naturally attractive subject, especially when it's something that you're engaged with.
Which do you enjoy more, practicing real law or writing about the law the way you would like it to be in your books to suit your plots?
Well, I mean, I had a fabulous time trying this case. I hadn't tried a case in somewhere 8 to 10 years. And I loved being in the courtroom again, mostly just to experience how little of it I've forgotten. But the truth of the matter is there are lots of lawyers who could have represented my wonderful client. There are, I'm the only one who can write my books. And so, you know, there's a certain specialness to it. And the older I get, the more I feel the wings of time. And so, you know, I'm much more writer than lawyer.
And you like that a lot better?
It's not a matter of liking it better, Stuart. It's a matter of feeling that I can do something more unique as a writer. You know, to some extent, every case you try, the details are different, but the experience is pretty much the same. The experience of each book is completely different.
What are the rock bottom remainders?
The rock bottom remainders is basically a 60s cover band composed of a bunch of middle-aged authors, and some of them, like Mitch Albom and Dave Barry and Ridley Pearson and Greg Iles, some of them have talent, and then there's me. And I am there to prove that the rest of them don't take themselves that seriously, and they certainly don't. So, and as I say, I'm proof of that.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Stuart, thank you for having me.
And I wish you great luck in the future.
I appreciate it.
Well, Stuart, this brings us to the end of episode 25. I'm Dina Stewart.
And I'm Stuart Stewart.
And we're alive on South Beach for syndicatednews.net.
See you guys next week.